Do you guys wonder why things aren't as magical or why things aren't as exciting today when you're grown as it was when you were a kid? Yeah, it sucks, doesn't it? Well, today I'm going to be sharing one of those magical times when I was a kid. The first time when I ever got my first portable gaming system, the Game Boy. Yes, everybody remembers when they first got their first Game Boy. Whether you were older, whether you were younger, whether even if you didn't have one, go out and get yourself a Game Boy. Please, I'm telling you. It was quite an experience the first time I unboxed my Game Boy back in '04. I think maybe '03 or '04. Man, I thought I had the world in my hands. I got this Game Boy. I think it was the Game Boy. No, it wasn't the Advance because it didn't have backlit lighting. Because I remember there was even. I remember when I first got it, when my cousin actually got it for me, she had to get a. It was like an accessory. It was like I had to clip it onto the Game Boy, and it had like a lighting system on it, so that way, because it didn't have any backlit lighting. But I remember, oh man, it was absolutely amazing. My mind was blown. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. Like, what is this? I can play on this for hours. Like, and let me tell you, and I did. I played that thing so much, I actually got in trouble with my mother. I got in trouble. I got in absurd amounts of trouble. I remember one time I was sitting in class and I had snuck it out of my mom's house. I said, you know what, I'm going to take this to school. Like, this is great. Like, this is crazy. Yeah, of course, inevitably got caught. And the teacher literally took it from me, and my mom had to come to the school and pick it up. But this was an elementary school, of course. I was a little kid. I didn't know any better. I'd be on the bus. I'd be at home thinking about it, like, oh my God, like, how am I going to beat that SpongeBob level? Like, how am I going to beat, like, who's Dr. Jekyll and who's Mr. Hyde? Like, from this, from the Scooby Doo game that I had. But anyway, this story today is going to be the rise and the tragic fall of that system. So, it was one evening. Me and my mother were getting ready to head out, and we were going to one of her, I think it was a late church afternoon, like church service or something like that, or like a church meeting or something, to where it's like a Bible study or something. And of course, me being a little kid, I'm running around. I'm like, Mom, Mom, Mom. Of course, like, can I have my Game Boy? Like, man, I'm gonna be so bored there. Please, please, please. She says, you know what? Okay, listen, it's gonna be like an hour and a half, like 90 minutes. Alrighty then, fine then. So, and she told me to go and do something. And, of course, being a little kid, you're not worried about doing whatever. You're worried about having fun. You're worried about playing the video games. And I remember she told me to go ahead and make sure that my hair was brushed or something like that. And I'm like, okay, Mom. And she told me to make sure that I had my hair brushed before I picked up the Game Boy. And I turned around and was like, okay, Mom. And I grab it and I like run off. And she was over there doing something else, so she didn't see me. So, of course, I'm running around the house. I have it. I'm sitting down. I'm playing it. I'm like walking all over the house, like bumping in the walls because I'm playing it. So I'm not even paying attention. Anyway, I end up going outside and I'm playing it and I'm like, you know what? Let me make sure that I have enough battery. So I ended up setting it down. And I think I was like outside in front of the car, just waiting on my mom to get ready. And I'm fucking around and I'm out here. I think I was like chasing a lizard or something, or just walking around doing some dumb kid stuff. And my mom comes out, and she's like, "Hey, alrighty, okay, okay, we're ready to go." And I'm like, "Okay, Mom." And for some reason, I I went, and I'm like, "Well, Mom, I can't find my Game Boy. Like, I don't know where I set it down." And she says, "Well, did you check your pockets?" Like, and I'm looking everywhere. I'm looking absolutely everywhere. Like, I'm looking all around, like the little garden area. I'm looking on the porch. I'm like, oh my gosh, where did I put it? And my mom's like, well, we don't have time to look for it. Like, you probably left it out here. And I literally panic. I'm like, Mom, no, please. Like, you don't understand. Like, this is my Game Boy. Please, you can't do this to me. Please, please, please. Like, I have to find it. I absolutely had a conniption. She says, listen, we have to go. Like, we have to go. We can't do this right now. So anyway, we end up getting in the car, and I literally cried the whole way there. I'm like anxious. I'm like, oh man. I remember, yeah, that was the most boring, the longest 90 minutes of my life. Absolute garbage. It was 1 out of 10, 0 on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, it was horrible. Anyway, afterwards we come back. I literally spent the whole night searching. We get back, it's late. Mom's like, listen, we'll have to find it in the daytime. I'm like, no, Mom, please turn on all the lights. Like, let me search around, please, please, please. So I'm searching around. Unfortunately, that night I didn't find it. So a couple of days later, I'm coming home from school, and I was talking to my mom on the porch, and I'm like, man, something happened. We were talking about the Game Boy or something, and I said, I just don't know where it is. And she says, well, I found it. And I said, oh my gosh, Mom, really? Oh my gosh, like, that's great. Like, where'd you find it? Like, were you doing work? And she says, sit down. I have to tell you something. And I said, well, okay, did you find it? Like, where's it at? Like, can I play with it? And she says, well, I was turning on to our street today, and I saw something in the road, and I picked it up, and I'm guessing that you ended up putting it on top of the car because it was laying in the road. You left it on top of the car. And I said, oh my gosh, no way. Like, and my heart sank. But for some reason, I had still that little sliver of hope. No, it's okay. Maybe it didn't get run over. Maybe it was in the grass. Maybe. My mom takes me inside, and right there on the table in the garage, there was my Game Boy, crushed to shreds. Nothing I could do about it. No hope. It was gone. Yeah, that was the tragic story of how my Game Boy, the rise and the fall. R.I.P. Game Boy. But anyway, guys, do you have any stories of your first Game Boy? Go ahead and link that down in the comments. I want to know, what was your first portable gaming system? And if you've ever were a little kid like me and decided to leave your system on top of a car, um, being on some dumb stuff, go ahead and put it down in the comments. But hey guys, I'll catch you later. Like, comment, and subscribe. I love you.